ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Peanut Gallery, Angry Faithful of all ages, welcome. It's Nerd Sports episode 147. David is not here tonight. He conveniently had to work after Super Bowl Sunday. Yes, we are going to dive into the fact that he picked the 49ers last week to win. Hey, what's going on, Jade Bug?
Yeah, we're definitely going to give him his just desserts on that.
I mean, we're not trying to say there's a theme here, but he's going to see red by the time it's over with. He's going to think twice before following number 13 into the fray again.
Never again, quote the Raven. Never more.
References lost to the Chiefs.
Never more, quote the Raven.
Hey, what's going on, Maria?
Quote the Niners. Maria, what's up?
So last night, I mean, we had, oh God, this for years we've been wanting basically just, one of those instant classics, right? The Super Bowl has been either a defensive struggle and has broken open in the late fourth quarter, or it has just been a complete blowout. So, I think there was a lot of forces at play here. No, we're not one of those people. We're as a group. We do not subscribe to the NFL being scripted thing. No, that breaks David's heart. But
he may be, but we're not.
Right. His review or his views and opinions do not reflect those of Angry Me Production. There was a lot of forces at play here. The Kansas City Chiefs, they flew into Las Vegas on American Airlines flight number 1989, a Taylor Swift album name. Yesterday was 211. 2 plus 11 is 13. Brock Purdy, the quarterback for San Francisco, he wears number 13. 8 plus 7 is, or no, what is it? The numerology was there. It was, oh yeah. So like,
it worked out a ton. Like 13 kept popping up, right? She had been to 12 Chief games prior to this. Last night was her 13th.
13th, yep.
Her get in the plane, hurry up, we got to go flight from Tokyo to Las Vegas was 13 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, there's that whole thing there. And I'm like, all right, yeah, we get it. What it is. It was Super Bowl 58, right?
Oh,
58. All right. So 87 minus 58 is 13.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I see how that works.
There was a lot of, like I said, we don't subscribe to all the conspiracy theory bullshit, but
yeah. I mean, I
there was
think
a lot
that
of
Taylor Swift
coincidence.
had anything to do with it? No.
Oh God, no.
Um,
It was an
do I
amazing.
think it was a distraction? No.
No.
Do I think Tony Romo called a horrible game? Yes. Yes, I do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love me some Tony Romo, but last night was not one of his better efforts.
That's what happens when you've never been to a Super Bowl.
I mean, Taylor Swift got to the Super Bowl in her rookie season, so I mean, she now has more Super Bowl rings than Dak Prescott and Tony Romo put together.
Thanks, I hate it.
Hey, I'm just letting you know, and then we had Post Malone last night. He was spotted in the luxury suite wearing a Cowboys jacket, and it was the first time that Cowboys gear had been spotted at a Super Bowl in 28 years.
Yeah.
So, and then Brittany Mahomes at the Chiefs after party made him take it off and put on a Chiefs jacket. Now, to Post Malone's credit, being a true diehard Cowboys fan, he acted like it was burning him.
Right.
But he kept it on because he's a good sport. So, the highlights from the game, most notably Post Malone's rendition of America the Beautiful and Reba McEntire's Star Spangled Banner. I mean, I'm telling you, dude.
Gotta love Reba.
I love Reba. Love me some Reba. I could have done without the halftime show. However, my wife and her sister were in our living room singing along, and I'm like, I could really just do without this entire halftime show. I didn't really care until I saw Ludacris, and even then I didn't care. But I was just like, okay, this is a little bit more relevant to somebody like myself. And they made it poignantly clear that it was like, this is the stuff that we grew up on. We listened to this in high school and college. And I was like, you want to know what I listened to in high school and when I was in the Army? Country music and metal, bands like Metallica, Pantera, Biohazard, like
Anthrax.
Yeah, Anthrax. Thank you so much. Megadeth,
Yeah.
Megadeth, they had the Violent Femmes. Yes, Maria, thank you for that blast from the past. The Violent Femmes. I mean, they made hipsters look cool before hipsters, ironically looked cool.
Back when that meant something.
Yeah, I mean, and then when I'm trying to explain it, yeah, Stone Temple Pilots, exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Green Day, Live. You remember Live?
Bush. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bush before he started banging.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Early Bush, which
early Bush before he got gray.
Before he got trimmed up.
Yeah. Before child support and alimony waxed him clean.
Skinned him alive. right down to the nubs. Got him by the shoe.
You had to take care of the windburn with Vaseline. See what we did there? Oh, that was such a beautiful montage. That was great. Oh, awesome.
Oh man!
But the Chiefs became the first back-to-back Super Bowl champions since the Patriots did 19 years ago.
Indeed.
So I mean, Patrick Mahomes isn't even 28 yet. And that's scary.
You would never know it by the way he played yesterday.
No, and here's the thing. When he first came in, I was watching ESPN. I was watching First Take this morning, and they were talking about, when we saw Patrick Mahomes come into the league, we saw a phenom, right? He didn't really understand everything about the game. He just went out there and played, right? Doing things that we had never seen before.
Yeah.
And so now he's learned. He's got a better football IQ. He has transformed himself from a phenom into a savant of sorts. Does he still make boneheaded decisions from time to time? Yeah, but all the greats do. Now, I'm not saying that we should go ahead and just, have this huge coronation where we just crown Patrick Mahomes as the new GOAT.
Right.
He himself said that Tom Brady will always be the GOAT for him because Tom Brady beat him in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, and being a unabashed Brady fan myself, that to me, that made me like Patrick Mahomes that much more because that was a humble statement,
Yeah.
So, it's starting to become very, very fun and enjoyable watching this kid play. And yeah, I say kid because quite literally, minus the alcoholism and several DUIs, I'm literally old enough to be his dad. But
right.
That aside,
that's pretty close.
Right?
For me, it's pretty close. He's only a couple of years outside of it, so yeah.
So would he be as talented?
Oh God, no.
God, no. He would have never gone to Texas Tech University. He'd have joined the Army and had his name on his shirt, just like Chris and I did.
Apologize to my children right now.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I tried.
My kids, they know, my kids know. That's all there is to it. They know that they're, we're 10 minutes and 45 seconds into it. They're fucked. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
They might get a little bit of smarts, they might be able to get their way through college, get a degree, maybe get a second degree, get a decent paying job. But are they going to be athletically blessed? No.
Listen, my kids have street smarts, okay?
That sounds like the most backhanded comment ever. Wow.
They're not, conventionally smart, but
common sense was an issue, but they find a way to use it anyway.
They're smart-ish. Take after me. They're smart-ish.
Hit them in the head.
I have my moments.
Right, exactly. But let me see here. I was looking up some stats. The Chiefs trailed 22-19 after Jake Moody kicked a 27-yard field goal in the first possession of overtime. Here's what I find hard to believe, and honestly, I don't know if it's so much the fact that the 49ers players stated, publicly admitted that they weren't sure about what the overtime rules were.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm more embarrassed about the fact that they said that they didn't know that, or more embarrassed for the organization that they admitted it publicly. Because that's not on the NFL. That's not on the NFL. The NFL they changed those rules 2 years ago.
Right.
2 postseasons ago.
Granted, it has been used, but you still
right. This was the first overtime situation since the rule change.
Right.
But every team got the memo. It was the team's responsibility to make sure that the players understood.
Exactly. This is part of the football knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And so, when San Francisco won the toss and they elected to get the ball first, I was like, oh, dumb. What are they going? What are they thinking there? I'm thinking that if they had scored a touchdown on their possession, they probably would have stormed the field thinking that they just won the damn game. And you want to talk about penalties? Oh,
They had some killers right at the
oh
end.
no! I mean, if they would have ran onto the
Oh,
field,
they would have ran. I would have laughed my ever loving ass
you
off.
want to talk about?
Even if they would have won, they would have
times can you
lost.
stack a 15-yard penalty on top of itself? You know, you'd be like that. You'd be like that referee in that movie Necessary Roughness, where he's talking about. He's like, the whole offensive line. You know, like, you know,
You can only go halfway to the distance to the goal so many times before you're just
yeah,
moving
you know, it's like,
millimeters.
yeah, you know, I mean, at a certain point, I mean, it's like, okay, well, the penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. So instead of kicking off at the 35, they'd have kicked off at the 45, and then you tack another 10 or 15 yards on top, half a distance to the goal for the kickoff. You know, and I mean, at that point,
You're still you end up. I mean, immediately as soon as you get the ball, you're in field goal range. Immediately.
I mean, you can't even kick, you can't even squib kick the ball.
Oh God, no! Are you kidding me?
You know, it's like, you know, in fact, that if they were smart, they would have done that. They would have had everybody storm the field, racked up enough penalties to get have to kick off half the distance to the goal, squib kick it.
That might have helped him. Who knows?
It might have, yeah, but you know,
It couldn't have been any worse.
but Patrick Mahomes went in and did exactly what Patrick Mahomes does. This kid has demonstrated time and time again that he has the leadership mentality to, you know, conduct those, I mean, orchestrate really those game-winning drives.
Mhm.
And he has such a free reign when he's calling play, you know, when he's under center. I mean, he's got the playlist on his wrist, and he can call an audible. And he did. He changed the play at the line of scrimmage a couple of times during that drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
But you know, he ran. You know, I mean, they were on that. They were down to the 4th and 1, and he ran for 8 yards. Right. I mean, coverage. I mean, the coverage was tight.
Yeah.
That hole opened up right in front of him, and he did not hesitate. He took off.
Oh yeah. Like as soon as it appeared, he was already halfway there.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he was. He. It's almost like he knew it was going to happen. He knew there was going
Yeah.
to be a hole open up in front of him. He did a quick scan and saw the coverage there. He just knew that he was going to be throwing there. So he was waiting for the opening right away. Like there's no other way he could have responded that quickly.
I'll tell you who I'm happy for the most on the Chiefs. I mean, aside from well, let me see here. Hold on. I'll get to the other guy here in a second, but McCole Hardman, he caught the winning touchdown pass, right?
Yes.
He said as soon as he caught the ball, he blacked out.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't remember crossing the goal line. he said, you know, he remembers catching the ball, and then the next thing he knew, Patrick was running towards him, yelling, "You're a champion now, right?" And he's like, "Well, yeah," you know, like he didn't understand what was going on there.
How'd I get over here?
Right, exactly. You know, but
But I mean, honestly, if you don't have that reaction to literally catching the winning touchdown pass on the Super Bowl,
right.
I mean, that is every kid's dream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see here. I was looking at something here. There was. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Cole Christensen, linebacker for the Chiefs. West Point graduate and now 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Nice.
So, you know, Army representing last night a little bit there.
Of course.
So yeah, it says second year in the league. Last year was his rookie year, and you know, of course, when they played Philadelphia last year, Philadelphia also had a West Point grad on their roster.
How many Navy grads were there?
I'm trying to think, but
Wait a
I
minute.
think the answer is 0.
There were as many Navy grads as there were Marines at the largest amphibious landing in modern military history.
That's right. That's right.
That is absolutely correct. Little trivia for you there.
So what you're trying to tell me is that the midshipmen have as much Super Bowl experience this year as David does picking the winner.
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
They both equally have as much Super Bowl winning experience.
Yeah, there we go.
Business Risk has a bad reputation.
shut
but at Plant
up.
Moran, we won't tell you to avoid it.
Why now? Like, why is it that the video never plays with sound until I'm recording?
It just knows.
You were sent by Roger Goodell, weren't you?
Or the devil. Basically the same thing.
Yeah, and Dave Portnoy put $500,000 on the Chiefs to win last night.
Damn, are you serious? Oh,
his tweet, he put it out like 4 hours to kick off. He was like $500K on the Chiefs.
oh man. What was the payout on that?
I have no idea.
Well, I don't remember what the odds were.
They were favored, but they were actually the underdogs. But I think that was like a public poll favoriting the Chiefs.
Everybody outside of Vegas were picking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's I don't
Well, everybody except David.
well, yeah. Almost.
I'm gonna have the hardest time letting that one go tonight. It's gonna
no. We're not letting that go anytime soon.
Let me see here. Mahomes and Reed are now halfway to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, who won 6 championships in 20 years together. And they were the most recent team to go back-to-back following the 03-04 seasons put up by New England. Now, Patrick Mahomes is actually 28. So the 28-year-old Mahomes becomes the 4th starting quarterback to win 3 Super Bowls, joining Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, and Troy Aikman.
And he's just hitting a stride.
Yeah. Usually when guys hit 28, 29, we start to see them really kind of become, come into their prime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's scary.
It is.
And you know what's even scarier is the fact that a majority of the nucleus is going to be back for Kansas City next year because they've got all those young receivers that are not eligible for free agency yet.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like Kansas City has that unique mix right now of youth and experience.
Yeah.
And you're able to still, their experienced players still have a lot of football time left in them.
Oh, yeah. You want to know? Okay. So off field, since Jason Kelce has announced his retirement, right? He's technically a free agent right now because he has not filed his paperwork.
Right.
He has been traveling with his brother and the team this entire postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, I don't know if you caught his outfit at the game. He was decked out in those really dapper Kansas City Chief coveralls.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to Jason Kelce, who, if you know anything about their story, is that anytime Jason was looking forward to a season because he wanted to play with his brother, Travis usually did something to get himself in trouble. So I think it wouldn't be too much of a stretch if Jason Kelce decided to come back for one more year, that he went to go play for Coach Reed, who has already said he's coming back next year. And so did Travis.
Nice.
That they go and try to get that three-peat.
I could see him coming back for one last year and then dropping his papers.
Yeah. And doing it in the Chiefs uniform.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that would be kind of awesome.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be such a great.
It would piss everybody in Philadelphia off, but
yeah,
exactly.
When are they not pissed off?
I mean,
even when they're happy,
because I planned on buying a Travis Kelce jersey, just to kind of put it in the collection.
Yeah,
but this would give me a perfect excuse and reason to buy a Jason Kelce jersey, because I'm damn sure not buying an Eagles jersey. That's not happening.
God, no, never.
I mean,
never.
I mean, the only time I would wear a Philadelphia Eagles jersey is like if I'm going to wear it around the neighborhood and haunt all the people who refuse to keep a muzzle on their dogs, because it'd be a Michael Vick jersey.
I was wondering where you were going with that. That would be good. I could see that. I was just say maybe if you need like a painting shirt, or if you find one in a
a Goodwill, so that way the team doesn't actually get my money. Yeah,
exactly.
Or I could go to one of those knockoff sites.
Find somebody selling one on the street.
right. They'd be like, "This is a game used jersey." It's really not, but I'll give you $25 for it right now. Okay.
Hey, my friend,
you drive a hard bargain. Why did they become Arabic all of a sudden? I have no idea. It's like we're walking downtown in Brooklyn or something like that, and you come across the street vendor. Like, "Hey, my friend, you come over here. You get a handbag for your lady, huh? It says Versace. No, it says Versace. That's what that. There's no H in Versace. It
says Versac.
Versac. Right. It's a purse. It's got like the Louis Vuitton print on it, but it just says purse on it.
Oh man.
But yeah. So.
Only way I'd be able to afford it. That's
right. The combine, the NFL combine got moved up, and it's in 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I learned that today. I was watching the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
I love watching his show on TikTok because they don't censor it, right?
Yes, he is
and I've noticed too that if you watch him on ESPN2, they don't bleep it out when he says shit.
No. Hey,
no. If they did, well, they didn't today. I don't know if somebody was hungover from the night before or what.
Right, stayed up too late.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible,
but yeah,
blurry eyes at the office this morning. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, congrats to the Chiefs. They pulled it off last night. That was a legitimate.
It was a no-brainer. I really was worried.
I remember texting you guys, and I was like, "Holy shit, that game was stressful."
Stressful, it was. I really didn't have anything. If I'm being honest, I don't really care about either team, but I knew, the Chiefs were going to win it. But man,
I loved going on my Facebook page and looking at my timeline. And seeing all the people who were posting like, "I hope both teams lose." Come on, bro. Like, really?
That's like, yeah. I mean, listen, you don't have to care about either team, but there's going to be one that's going to win.
I mean,
you have some kind of feeling, some way.
I hear a phone ringing somewhere, and it's like, "Hello, the 50s and 60s called. They want your dad's grumpy ass comment back."
We're both to lose.
We're both to lose. Fucking the Cowboys weren't in there. Screwed. I'm part of the refs. Taylor Swift.
Shut up,
bastard. What I got? Back in my day, you didn't have these guys. We didn't have the Super Bowl on TV. Hell, we didn't even have a Super Bowl. We just had the NFL championship.
That was back when the Browns won their last championship, wasn't it?
Not even a bowl. They played it in a dirt lot with cars lined up around it, and headlights were on at night.
They didn't even wear pads. They just beat the shit out of each other.
They
had clubs and capes, and they screamed, "Captain Caveman!"
Oh man!
Oh God!
They didn't have water and Gatorade. They had whiskey, cigars on the side.
Man, pop his Achilles. They just cut his leg off and put him back in the game.
Stuck a stick in there and just put him back in. One guy died.
Right.
They made him the kicker and continued the game.
They turned him into the kicking tee.
Just left him in the middle of the field.
He was the 12th man. It didn't matter which way you were going.
They just ran around him.
Linebackers used him as a pick.
Oh man!
Back in my day, the losing team died. They were all sacrificed to the Aztec gods.
There you go. Back when football was real manly.
Sheep were scared.
Oh man!
But now that football is over, now that football is over, baseball, you have the floor.
Well, I mean, hockey is still around for a little bit too.
Hockey's season has already started.
I know. You need something to scratch the itch until baseball starts.
Funny thing that you mentioned that. My Twitter feed has been blowing up with videos from almost every team. I say almost every team because the ones that I don't follow are usually the ones from New York or have pinstripes in their uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of players that have been reporting early.
Oh, really?
Training, yes. The Red Sox, you had Jordan Blaze. He reported for spring training. They had a video of him taking batting practice swings. Man, that was a beautiful sound.
Ooh, speaking of,
mm-hmm.
The Rangers signed an agreement with Dallas Garcia, so he will be uniform.
2 years, wasn't it? I thought it was 2 years.
Yep. 2 years. I want to say 14 million.
Well, that's modest. Yeah,
it's not too bad.
I mean, he came out of the gates. He came out of the gates pretty hot, kind of announced his presence to the world last postseason.
I'm going to look that up and verify that, but I know it was less than I thought it was for them going to.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't run into the sophomore slump.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't say that because I don't want to see the guy fail. I think the Rangers finally putting it together last year and bringing. I didn't want that to zoom. Bringing their fans a much deserved World Series championship. I mean, it was a great story. Absolutely great story. It reignited the rivalry, the I-45 corridor rivalry between Houston and Arlington. But
yes, he's actually 2 years and guarantees him 14 million. With all the riders and escalators and everything, it could reach as high as 20.25 million, but he's guaranteed 14.
Okay. All right. Well, good job to you, man. Good job.
He's 30, so in baseball years, he's getting up there.
Yeah. He is.
Who knows how much longer he's got, but
all right. So we are not going to be doing any football picks this week, obviously, because guess what? Yeah, while there's no NFL football, there is the UFL and I'm just waiting to see how long that one takes before it tanks.
Is the XFL still out there?
Actually, the XFL and the USFL merged.
Oh, no way.
So, you get all these talking heads from ESPN and Fox Sports are talking about, we finally have a legitimate spring football league, and it's like,
no.
I'm noticing here as of late, even the stuff that's actually scripted. We're looking at WWE. Anything that Dwayne The Rock Johnson touches generally turns into a steaming pile of shit.
Did you see, speaking of, when he was out there, they were doing a promo for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He got like legitimate
real world.
Everybody was chanting Maui in the crowd too. You could see it. It really.
He thought they were talking about. In his head, he is so full of himself that he probably thought they were talking about Moana.
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It probably did.
But yeah, I mean, and as far as wrestling is concerned, I mean, I know that a good amount of it is scripted. I know that the wrestling, it takes a high degree of real world athleticism,
right,
to pull off those moves. But Triple H went out there because he's the de facto CEO right now, like in real life.
Yeah, because
ever since Vince McMahon announced himself as a Trump supporter, they, the liberal.
No, you didn't hear about that. Supposedly he got kicked out. The board kicked him out because of sexual allegations, some sexual misconduct allegations.
Here's my thing, and this is going to be an unpopular take.
Oh.
I am all for believing the victims, right? Or believing the accusers. But when you wait 14 years to come back and say, oh, hey, he touched me in an inappropriate manner.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing works out to where it's right after he came out and publicly supported Donald Trump.
Right.
I find that a little suspectable.
I do as well.
I'm not saying that it lessens the validity of their claim. If the claims are legitimate, then he needs to answer for that.
Yeah.
But 14 years.
That's a little.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure here in a minute that we're going to have Maria sounding off about it, and that's fine. We welcome that. Again, it's not a misogynistic or chauvinistic or a patriarchal anti-feminist viewpoint. It's just
it's suspicious.
It is. It really is. I mean, it would be like, it'd be like you and I coming back. Oh, she's with us. Outstanding. They would be like you and I coming forward, I don't know, a decade and a half after we got off of active duty, and we, and filed allegations of misconduct against one of our leaders.
Right.
Because we ran into them out in the real world and we didn't agree with their politics, and we just felt like running their name through the dirt.
It's what it feels like.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, how much of this is legitimate and how much of it is for political gain? So, again, just like with the Trevor Bauer thing, Trevor Bauer, for those of you who aren't really sure who he is, he used to pitch in the major leagues. He basically got railroaded out of Major League Baseball by some sexual misconduct allegations that were made against him. He was put on. He was suspended indefinitely.
Oh, he lost his contract and everything.
Lost his contract, lost his sponsorship. He went to Japan to play, and while he's in Japan playing, the accusers all dropped the charges. Well, the charges were dropped because the grand juries and the prosecutors assigned to that case wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole because the accusers couldn't keep their story straight. And eventually to where like the accusers came out and said, we don't remember things the way that they actually happened, or they didn't happen at all. They came clean, kind of a thing. But yet the damage was already done. And now that we've got, baseball fixing to ramp back up, Trevor Bauer's out there, he's campaigning for a job in the major leagues. He's like, look, he went on his Twitter page at Bauer Outrage, right? He's like, look, I'll play for the league minimum. Just give me a job. I mean, the dude legitimately loves this game enough where he'll play for the league minimum. He doesn't care.
Right.
He'll get out there, play that 1 year, and prove that he is one of the more dominant pitchers.
Yep.
And then when he goes and either they try to extend him or he enters the free agent market, then he can ask for the money. And then the sponsors are going to come back because they're going to be like, you know what, man, we were wrong. And fine, great, awesome. I hope like hell that a good team with a legitimate shot at winning signs Trevor Bauer.
Yes.
I would love to see him in a Red Sox uniform, but being the optimistic realist that I am as far as being a Red Sox fan, I'm not expecting a lot this year, if anything at all. But that being what it is, not a ton of not a ton of baseball news right now. There is a let me see here. Jen Powell, Pawol, is set. She's going to become the first female umpire in the major leagues. She's been called up for spring training games. Actually, she's the first woman to do it since 2007. So,
okay.
But it's
listen, she can't be any worse than Angel Hernandez.
God. And here's the thing. Okay.
If she's better than Angel Hernandez, I count it as an absolute win.
Like the NFL has had a consistent, and she's a good referee. She's a good line judge.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But in baseball, man, I don't know, man. If she thinks that she hears something, she's going to hold that. Right? I mean, the ball's going to skip off the plate and she's going to call it a strike. And then she's going to, the player's going to look at her and be like, what was that? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
like, why are you throwing me out? Well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. Right. It's like, well, if I have to tell you, then you're never going to learn your lesson. Go to your room and think about what you've done.
That's
yeah. All right, let me see here.
What's so right?
Now, let me see here. Excuse me. Come on, Colin. It's 8:15. There he is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. And we are awaiting the arrival of my genetic code. After we do his segment, I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about NASCAR because the Daytona 500 is this coming weekend. And David requested something from the great beyond, otherwise known as work, to talk about what happened at the Phoenix Open this weekend. So I read the articles on it and I'm like, why that wasn't a bigger news story, I have no idea, but we'll get to that. How you doing tonight, bud?
Good.
All right. So you guys got some winter weather up there. Obviously school didn't close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's because they got a new superintendent in for the Wichita Falls ISD this year.
Yeah, and he's stupid now. Like,
well, he understands what real cold weather and real winter weather is supposed to look like. So, unlike the last superintendent who was just there for the paycheck, you dump a cup of ice out on his driveway, and if he sees it, it's like the groundhog. He'll suspend school for the day.
Man, I miss that guy now.
But hey, look at it this way. You don't burn your snow days, you get out of school that much earlier.
Right?
Yep.
Exactly.
No. So we get 2 free snow days, like 2 weather days, and that won't affect us getting out of school.
Mm-hmm.
And then we haven't had a weather day this year, so.
Well, far be it from you or for you to squeeze an extra couple of days of knowledge in. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Look, I could be the cool dad and be like, hey, man, you're right. Screw this guy. But I'm going to be good dad and be like, hey, get all the learning you can done now. So that way you're not having to struggle as a 46-year-old, or, try to convince everybody that you belong in college at 46 years old. This is and Chris can identify with me on this. This is the part of the conversation where I tell you that any parent worth their salt wants their kids to be better than they were.
Yes. 1,000%.
And I know that you know this, Colin, because I've told you that before.
Yeah.
So without further ado, rising from the smoke and haze of desolation comes a Ronin, bent on wrongdoing that which has been set right. Here for your ears and eyes to feast upon. It is my genetic code. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, it is time for Joke Time with Colin. Maria's like, nah, fuck them kids. All right, Colin, what you got for us this week, bud?
I'm not even gonna. I don't even know. I forgot what I put down.
Okay, alrighty, we're off to a strong start.
That is keeping it. It's almost like David is right here with us. Love you, bud.
Okay, I wanna run this one by you because I don't usually tell these jokes, but I'm grasping at like anything.
Bro, all right. You know what? Go ahead.
Oh boy. Here we go.
What's the difference between a baby and a potato? About 140 calories.
That seems low.
Right.
Babies have a lot of fat. I feel like there would be more than 140 calories there.
Potatoes, well, I mean, how much of that is empty calories, though?
Well, this is true. Once you get the starch out of the, I feel like babies are just full of saturated fat. It would be.
It's like, oh no,
incredibly unhealthy.
Right.
But juicy, very juicy. That bad. You'd think of the marbling in a baby.
You're not a fucking Wagyu cow, dude. We haven't been feeding them grass and beer.
Wagyu human. Yes.
Like, where would you get the brisket from? Oh, from the midsection where you tickle them a little bit.
Right here.
Oh,
what do you call human veal? I don't even know.
Baby back ribs.
Oh yes.
We just need Boys to Men to play that for us, you know.
Oh man.
And Jade, for those of you who don't know, Boys to Men was a popular R&B group back when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even my country ass knew who they were.
Yeah.
So any more delectable baby jokes?
Oh, no, not baby jokes, but I got another joke.
Oh, please.
Lay it on us.
Wait, hold on. I gotta grab it.
You're like Rod Sterling and present it for our approval. Submit it for our approval. There we go.
There you go.
I forgot what I wrote down, so I'm rereading these and
You're just gonna wing it. Bold move, Cotton.
did you hear about the guy that was born without eyelids? Yeah, they took his foreskin and made eyelids. It worked. He's a little cockeyed.
Oh my god.
Wow. So I had like this weekend, this past week for my my speech presentation class, we had to make a video and tell a bad dad joke. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm reading through some options here, and I'm like, dude, I'm dying over here, right? And so when I start the video and I'm trying to record a good take, I'm like, all right, no, I just need to do it like Colin, dude. I delivered it so deadpan. It was like, what do you call a Frenchman wearing sandals?
What?
Felipe flop.
Oh my god. Felipe flop.
And we had to interact with some of the other students in the class, and kind of like judge their, or offer some feedback on their submissions.
Yeah.
And so my professor is not exactly the most warm and cuddly of orators to begin with, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that he probably suffers from some like social anxieties, So, like, okay. But this one girl, she gets in there, and I can't even remember her joke, but she tells the punchline, and then she's like this. She's got her hands up, and then she goes, the punchline again, like with that tone.
No.
And I'm sitting there going,
that's no.
You would be eaten alive on this podcast, and just like, good God.
Because that's the absolute worst way. Deadpan, and you say it once, and then you give it a moment to sink in, because you got to give them that minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that one joke that Colin told. What was like a couple of months ago. He's like, why
I remember he was worried about it too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and like he sits there, he goes, why can't Michael Jackson play chess? Because he's dead. And then, like, we sat here for a minute. We were like, oh, okay.
I remember that. I remember that just about killing us. That was fantastic. But it is. There's a right way and a wrong way to tell a dad joke.
Right. Can you stick around for a little bit, Colin, or do you have to go?
Do you want to stick around for a little bit? I believe that's the more pertinent.
He said he can't hear us. Okay. All right. So
that's a no.
Hold on. Oh, it's like I was going to tell him leave and then come back. Gotta love the blazing fast internet up there in Wichita Falls. The sprawling metropolis thereof. It's a glorified shortstop between Dallas and Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask if you wanted to stick around after I play your outro, or do you have to go?
I don't have to go.
Do you want to stick around?
Okay.
Okay. It's not going to be that long. So, again, without further ado,
regard for your moral well-being, you have been witness to yet another traumatic episode of my genetic code assaulting your soul without consent. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, this has been Joke Time with Colin.
I think that when we get the merch store up and going, I think Colin's going to, one of his first pieces of merch is going to be a coffee mug that says, "My consent was not given."
I want something on there that has that.
And now he can't hear us again.
I want something on there that has the setting wrong, that which has been made right.
Hold
I
on
want
a second.
that on our shirt.
Oh. It says that you were muted.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, it said that you were muted. I think your computer muted you. Or
No, I'm on my phone right now.
oh, okay. Well, that explains a little bit. Moving on, we've got the Daytona 500 coming up this coming weekend. This Sunday, it's going to be at 1:30. Yeah, 1:30 Central Time. It's going to be broadcast on Fox. It's going to be the 66th running of this race. I mean, there's Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been in the news a lot lately. I mean, there's a lot of articles being written about his Twitter account, which, I mean, he's really active on it. And I mean, he's really big and a big, huge supporter of the late model series, different late model series that are, around the country. He runs his late model stock car a lot. In fact, the 2024, it's called the 2024 Icebreaker at Florence. It's a late model race. He scored a top 5 in that race. So, wow, we got a viewer back. All right, cool. His contract with NBC is up. I don't know if they're going to renegotiate with him to bring him back. They're going to extend him. What are they going to do? I don't mind. I actually enjoy listening to Dale Jr. call a race. He brings he brings kind of like a respectable goofiness to the booth when NBC does their part of the race. And why does Colin keep muting? Unmute. Good God. Oh, he chose to mute himself. Oh, okay.
Means he's playing a game.
Well, his screen went black, so I'm willing to bet that somebody came in the room. So, and he's being respectful, which, hey, good on him. So as far as the scheduling is going to be concerned, for that, we've got the Blue Green Vacations Duel number 1 at Daytona. That's going to be this Thursday, February 15th. It's going to be a 6:00 start. Immediately after that race is over, the second dual race is going to be that night also. Now again, with the duels, basically the only person in the field that has a secure spot is going to be the guy who qualifies on the pole. The duels are to hash out. Did you call? Did you talk to him? Tell him, hey, look, I'm trying to do something right now.
I can hear you now, but doesn't like to listen.
All right, let me see here. Hold on. All right. I texted your cousin and asked her to tell her brother to quit calling. Nepotism is a wonderful thing.
Isn't it though?
Mm-hmm. But Did you hear what I said, Colin?
Oh no, because he called again.
I said I texted your cousin and asked her if she would talk to him and tell him to quit.
Oh,
Take the hint.
Read the room, boy.
he's not very good at that.
Apparently not.
I love my nephew to death, but for the love of God, it's like, dude, it's my time with them. Chill out. Oh, she texted back. She said,
my time.
She texted me back. She goes, all done. So with the Daytona 500, the duels, the format, and everything like that, it's a random draw on Tuesday afternoon. So this tomorrow is going to be the random draw. It determines which order the cars will roll off pit road for single car qualifying. Qualifying begins on Wednesday at 7:15 Central Time. Each driver will run one timed lap around the 2.5 mile speedway. The top 10 fastest drivers in round one will advance to round two for the fight, to fight it out for the pole. Then the two fastest qualifiers will lock themselves in on the front row for Sunday's Daytona 500, and the rest of the lineup for the Great American Race will be determined by Thursday night's duels. Now, of note, the last 11 Daytona 500 pole awards belong to Chevrolet drivers. Hendrick Motorsports has claimed 8 of those 11. I look for that domination to continue. Alex Bowman is the most recent pole winner. Alex Bowman drives the number 48 Ally Bank Camaro Chevrolet Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. Now the duels consist of 2 150-mile qualifying races that sets positions 3rd through 40th for the Daytona 500. Now each duel will be 60 laps long. Lineups for each duel are set from Tuesday night's single car qualifying session, with drivers finishing in an odd position on the speed chart, 1st, 3rd, 5th, etc., lining up for duel 1. Now, even though the pole winner has his spot secure for the race, he can choose to participate in the duel. A lot of times you don't see it because they don't want to wad their car up. Because if you have to go to a backup, you have to start at the back of the field. So, and for the even number positions, 2nd, 4th, 6th, on, etc., they participate in duel number 2. Now the format is similar for the Daytona 500 itself. The finishing order from duel number 1 will make up the inside rows for the 500, and the second duel will make up the outside rows. Now, there are 36 guaranteed spots in the 500, and it's for the chartered teams in the 40 car field. So that means 4 non-chartered teams will make the race. So it means basically like mom and pop single car operations can, qualify for this race. I'm trying to see what the purse is for that. And because I remember that the let's see here, practice, Cup Series final practice. Okay. Yeah, so they're not giving out a whole lot of information about the Daytona 500 this year. I know that in years past, this has been one of the larger purses as far as winner gets X amount of dollars. I know in the past it's been over $1 million to the winner. So that's a pretty good payday. But this is the crown jewel event for NASCAR. This is the one race where race teams dedicate a section of their teams to working on setups and body work for the car all year long. I mean, this is the one race that everybody wants to win. Yes, it's nice to win the other races, but this is the Daytona 500. This is the granddaddy of them all. So some of the greatest legends of that sport has never won that race. And then you've got several multi-time time winners. You've also got just single time winners like great Dale Earnhardt Sr. He won it one time, but it's really one of those things where I can't remember a year going by growing up where we didn't watch NASCAR on Sundays. Back when they were, the races were still being run on TNN, and things like that. But
TNN, good Lord.
Right. That was a blast.
That was back in the day.
You get to see like the Save, not the Save Mart 350, but like the GI Joe's 350 or the 250 where they used to run it at Sears Point.
That was back when it was still the Winston Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the good old days of the Winston Cup. But yeah, but that's NASCAR news. So be looking forward to that this weekend. David sent us a request to talk about something that happened out in Phoenix this weekend, or this past weekend. Article is titled "Gates Closed, Alcohol Sales Suspended Amid Chaos at Waste Management Phoenix Open." The byline is by Claire Rogers. This article was dated the 10th, so it's 2 days old. It starts out, update, Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The WM Phoenix Open issued a statement regarding the decision to close the tournament gates Saturday. You can read it in full below. Quote, "As an organization, our fans and their safety is our top priority. Due to a steady rainfall in Scottsdale this week that created deteriorating course conditions, we unfortunately had to close the gates at the tournament entrance and stop allowing fans to enter the golf course on Saturday afternoon. The stadium style course layout at TPC Scottsdale, which features large banks for crowds to stand and sit, were soggy and unusable. This pushed patrons who would normally congregate in those areas into high foot traffic areas, causing severe congestion at key points on event grounds, which included the entrance and exit. After consulting with event partners and officials, we have made the decision to temporarily close the tournament entrance to alleviate crowding in those areas in the interest of public safety. We know that fans with Saturday tickets were turned away. The Thunderbirds, as an organization, are gathering more details and discussing options on how to remedy their concerns. To the greatest fans in golf, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience and this may have caused, or as we always strive to create the best event possible." Now, on Saturday, the author writes, "I observed more chaos in the last 8 hours than I have cumulatively in the last decade of my life. I saw men bleeding from the face, people napping on muddy hills, and adults knocking each other over because they couldn't walk straight. Picture the first few minutes of trying to exit a sold-out concert and multiply it by 15. That's where we're at."
There was some good that came out of it, though. Did you see the I don't even know what you would call it, cup snake that they made out of that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Well, it started in the bottom and it went all the way up to the top of the bleachers. And there were people just throwing cups at them just to add to this thing.
Yeah. So it says
that was a great moment of solidarity in the
right. Yes, exactly.
Which, again, devolved into chaos.
Just for reference, the walk from the practice area to the 16th tee has taken about 12 minutes all week. Today, 45. The place was packed. A little later on, I witnessed a fan storm the 16th hole. He dove into a green side bunker, ran around, and was promptly arrested about 15 seconds later. Then another unexpected event. They temporarily closed gates and stopped selling alcohol. The goal of shutting the gates was to hopefully get the crowd to thin out as people left. I mean, Barstool wasn't even getting in on it, right? Like wondering why all alcohol sales were stopped at the Waste Management tonight, right? And it shows a picture, like if it's a video. I mean, there are empty cans, bottles, cups just strewn all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a frat party exploded.
It was, and everybody that was there, you actually look at videos of people that were there, and 100% they were all frat boys.
Oh yeah.
Not a shirt in sight.
Yeah, exactly. Not a shirt in sight. I mean, there was a, I mean, there at Foreplay Pod, it's a golf podcast. They posted a video from somebody's Instagram account. Chance of We Want Beer breaking out as the WMPO has apparently stopped serving alcohol.
They had a snake to make. Damn it.
Yeah. Josh Wamsley at Bonafide Whams on Twitter. An hour and a half between the ending of the second round and the start of the third round leaves not much to do other than drink. Things are getting wild.
We're bored, so we're gonna drink.
Right.
That's amazing.
There's people sliding down hills on their stomach. The chaos became a serious safety issue. People were getting trampled in the crowded areas. Some fans collapsed and fences had to be cut to open up extra space for the massive crowds to move. Now, on the spectrum of anti-fun to lover of mayhem, I probably fall somewhere in the middle. But I definitely started to feel like I was stuck in an overcrowded fraternity basement by mid-afternoon. I spoke with a member of the security team, and there was a real concern that people would get seriously injured, especially because so many spectators were getting stuck in the crowds. So everything was put to a halt. By the time I made my way back to the media center at about 5 p.m., the amount of fans packed in outside of the 16th hole felt much more like a normal golf tournament. And then they go on to post some of these Twitter reactions from people that were there. Let's see here. Lindsay Bagani, or at Lindsay Bagani, the Waste Management has officially become too overrated when it comes to the drinking and fan experience. Was cool and different a couple of years ago, but this year has been an absolute chaos and in not a good way. Let me see here. Ryan Bayer at Bayer Kid. Waste Management might be the worst sporting event I've ever personally been to in my life. What an absolute shit show.
Oh God.
Somebody by the tag of at @garbage_Michael on Twitter said someone called the Waste Management Phoenix Open a straight rave. I think to me that was the tweet of the day.
That is pretty amazing. I'll give him that.
But yeah, it's, I mean, because I was thinking, because there was video of that one golfer, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. He harnessed his inner Shooter McGavin because I mean he was going. I mean, like, because there were some fans talking mad smack to him from the galley, and so he walked up to the retaining a rope and started barking at these people. He's like, "Just shut up! Just shut up!"
Oh,
they were talking shit. They were like, "We're gonna whoop your ass, dude!" And he just walked away.
That is amazing.
I'm sitting there going, man. And with the passing of Carl Withers, the one Twitter account that we never heard from? The Shooter McGavin account.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact. Let me see if I can.
That is sad. You would think, of all people.
Yeah, I mean, you would think. Let me see here. That's a pinned tweet. 2 hours ago. Oh, Zach Johnson isn't a fan of the atmosphere at the Phoenix Open. He was the one that was talking to the people. Let me see here. I love this Twitter account because there's absolutely no chill. Last night, about 22 hours ago, it had a video from that movie Old School where Will Ferrell was turning back into Frank the Tank and he was taking beer bong hits.
Good.
And
It's
it was
really
like,
good. Give me another one.
right? But the caption on the tweet was Patrick Mahomes Sr. tonight.
Oh.
Right? No chill.
That's oof.
And then they got footage from Happy Gilmore where Happy chucks the pin and knocks the cameraman off the gantry with the caption Brock Purdy every time the camera pans to Taylor Swift tonight. And he commented on the video of the guy taking a swan dive into the bunker, and the caption on is "Damn you people, go back to your shanties."
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Let me see here. I'm scrolling back, man. I'm looking to see. Oh, okay. So February 7th, he tweeted out. He retweeted a Tiger Woods tweet because Tiger Woods is supposed to be hosting the Genesis Invitational, and Shooter McGavin goes, "Please dedicate your performance to Chubbs's memory."
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, it was at least it was a mention.
Yeah, I mean, at least there was a mention there. So, so the guy that played Shooter McGavin actually showed up in Phoenix. It's like it's officially Waste Management Week for the PGA. You just never know who might swing by again.
Fantastic. Is he wearing the jacket?
Here. Oh, okay. So on February 2nd, this hit harder tonight. See you in another life, Chubbs, and it's got the scene from the end of the movie. He also tweeted out, "It's fair to say that a little piece of us died with Carl today, a movie icon whose performances withstood the test of time. Happy Gilmore is not the cult classic without Carl's performance. No one could have played Chubbs like he did. Rest easy, Carl."
Okay.
So yeah, there we go.
There we go. I feel
and I know that you said you didn't catch it last night because you were indisposed for most of the game.
Busy.
But I'm not I don't kiss and tells. But the FanDuel commercial where Gronkowski was supposed to kick a field goal and Carl Withers was his trainer.
Yeah.
Well, so Gronk lines up to kick this field goal outside of Allegiant Stadium or Allegiant Field, and he misses wide right, but like by barely. And he points to the sky, and then he taps a CW patch on his jersey. And it shows everybody that bet that he was going to miss, celebrating or whatever. And then they stuck in a couple of scenes that nobody had seen with Gronk and Carl Weathers, where Gronk looks at him and Carl just kind of nods his head, kind of like in approval kind of a thing. And then at the end it says, thanks for everything, Carl. And then it gives the dates. But yeah,
that's cool.
That is cool. Now, I know this is morbid, but I'm waiting to see who the number 3 is going to be. Because you know how the celebrities always die in threes.
Always in threes.
So we had Carl Weathers, we had Toby Keith.
Who's numbers up?
I don't know, man.
Who's on deck? There's a few on deck. Well, I mean, Keith Richards, obviously, he's been on deck for 40 years.
Well, he's under contract right now because the tour, the Stones have a tour this year. So
he's under contract. Oh man.
We used to think that Betty
White was never going to.
Yeah, Betty White was going to win the Mortal Kombat tournament there, but
yeah, there can be only one.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a.
Speaking of, there can be only one.
Yes.
I went. Henry Cavill is going to be playing Connor McLeod now. In a reboot of the Highlander series.
See, now, it's promotional pictures. I guess.
I wanted to get out of the house this weekend. And so Friday night, I took my wife and my sister-in-law out to dinner. And I was like, hey, look, let's, we can go eat and we can just kind of come home, get in our comfy clothes and just kind of, lounge. And my sister-in-law, she goes, I want to go see a movie. I was like, okay, well, just pick one. I don't care what. Just as long as it's not like, sappy. Like, oh God.
Right.
If you're going to pick that movie,
feelings,
just drop me off at the house kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
We went to go see Argyle.
Oh.
Yeah, with Dallas Bryce Howard.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell, Henry Cavill.
That was the one where she was an author, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson is in it.
Mm.
And I actually enjoyed that movie.
It looked interesting. Not as much as I think
it's an Apple production.
The what was that one? The history of the ungentlemanly conduct or whatever.
Yeah, ungentlemanly warfare or something like that.
Warfare,
yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, that one's not out yet.
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to.
But Argyle, I did not have a problem keeping up with it or keeping interested in what was going on in this movie.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and that's even with a very active person sitting a few seats down from us, because we like to sit right there on that row right behind the handicap row, so that way we can put our feet up on the bar.
Yeah.
Well, some people bounce their legs. Well, this person was bouncing their leg the whole time, and we've got our feet up on this rail. And so Mindy would just kind of very nonchalantly kind of stomp her foot a little bit on the rail, and it would stop for a little bit. And then a few minutes later, this person would stomp their feet. And I finally got tired of it. I just kicked the damn rail.
Good enough to make me leave, to be honest with you.
I mean, I kicked the rail and they stopped. And I was like, I don't want to get in a fight tonight.
I just want to watch a movie. Can't we just watch a movie? No.
I mean, because, I mean, the theater wasn't incredibly packed. But nowadays you pick your seats, right? When you pick it. So I'm like, look, we got to share this theater. People, they're expected to turn their phones off or put their phones on silent. If you are that jittery, don't sit on that row.
Yeah.
Pure, plain, and simple.
Common sense. Like, come on.
It's like people who bring their newborns to a movie. I get it. Sometimes you don't have a choice because babysitter A, B, and C, right?
Yeah, but you also have to accept the responsibility that if said baby starts crying, you're walking out.
Our theater here in Lake Jackson does not have the leather recliners yet.
Yeah.
But
there's a few of them here.
But
in San Antonio that do.
Mindy and I we're exploring an idea where you get those movie places where they have like restaurants and bowling alleys under the same roof.
Oh
yeah. We don't have one like that. The nearest one to us is an hour and 20 minutes away in League City or Bay City.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, dude, we would make a killing.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'd make a killing. But I mean, that would be an incredible investment. That would make that would put such a huge dent in AMC's business out here.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things where
you meant to make money. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those high investment, high return type situations. It's just getting the finances together and putting together a presentation to convince investors to do A, B, and C.
Right.
Or to get a bank to sign off on it. So I don't know.
One of the most memorable movie when Jake took me to see a movie, the superhero Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah.
There was this family sitting behind us, and the dad sounded like he had like the biggest hangover ever. Like that family sounded like they were dying. The dad and the kid were coughing up a lung like every 5 minutes, and it's out of nowhere. This kid behind, like they were sitting like right behind us. Out of nowhere, this kid just throws up on the floor, right behind me and Jake. And it didn't get on us, thank God, but like it was just sitting on the ground, and they finally up and left. And like it was like
it's coming. Like let's be honest, it's coming.
Yeah, no, like it was at the point where it's like it was like it was like at the point where it was like they're sick. Like it's one of those coughs where it was like you could hear like the density behind it.
Mm-hmm. So when we went in there and we're getting our refreshments, right, and getting our drinks and some candy or whatever, I saw it. I saw the popcorn bucket for Dune Part 2.
Listen,
it's a metal bucket.
It
the
just
sandworms coming out of the top. But the fact that they've got the little fingers that ring around the inside of the throat of the sandworm, you have to reach through that to get your popcorn. I looked at the guy behind the counter. I was like, you want to buy that and just order extra butter and nothing else, right? And he looks at me and he's like, what? And then the girl behind the counter is just snickering, dude. She's trying to hold it together. And I showed it to the girls and they were like, oh. It was like, yep. That's the kind of thing you get when you're at the movies by your damn self. And it was $25.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
Right? Some sponges, a paper tube, and a rubber glove, right? And you're good to go. I mean,
yeah. So speaking of nerd stuff,
good segue. We go from a $4 pump and dump, to hey, other nerd stuff. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of nerd stuff, so I tried this weekend for the first time. I tried that game, Pal World.
Yeah,
bro, you need to jump on it.
I just bought Star Trek Resurgence today.
Power World's so confusing though. Like I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm just like wandering.
Dude, it gives you the tutorial. It tells you what to do right on the side of the screen. It gives you.
Yeah, but you think I listened to it? Like,
look, I finally got around to re-downloading the Outer Worlds, and I finally played through it and finished it.
I downloaded that.
Yeah,
I went through my Xbox today. I'm like, man, Call of Duty sitting there staring at me. And I'm like, do I want to play this? Do I want to play the campaign? So I go in to start it, and it's like, oh, hey, it needs an update. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I forgot.
There it is.
I forgot. And I pull up, I go into my the queue screen on your Xbox.
Mm.
The update for Call of Duty was 203 gigs. I was like, yeah, no, I uninstalled Call of Duty. Just flat out uninstalled it.
When was the last time you updated?
Good idea,
dude.
I have it down. Look, they added Rick Grimes into the Battle Pass.
I don't care. I don't play multiplayer on
Call of Duty. No. I'm saying like that is the only reason that I'm keeping it downloaded right now, because I'm like, okay,
I don't care enough about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, I didn't even finish Modern Warfare 2. The reboot of it. I didn't even finish it because I'm just like,
I
got bored.
I beat We Happy Few, which is a good game, and then I did start.
You got to get into Pal World.
I'll get it downloaded, but like today I'm sitting there. Right. Well, I'm sitting there looking at it and looking through
Game Pass.
not Game Pass.
Like the
I was looking through. Well, I went into, I'm looking at how big games are and everything like that. Like I uninstalled MLB The Show 23 because I'm waiting on the new one to come out.
24 is on its way.
Yeah, 24 is on its way. But I was looking at trying to free up some space on my internal hard drive. Now, granted, my Series X has a 1 terabit hard drive on it, right? So I'm like, all right. But I mean, as soon as Call of Duty was like, oh, hey, look, we need 200 gigs worth of space. And I'm like, yeah, no. So I uninstalled that. I freed up like 120 gigs. Starfield, for whatever reason, is still on my Xbox. And that's because I haven't broken down enough to just sit there and finish out the Unity. But I freed up a ton of space today, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking, and I'm like, it's been a little bit since I played Star Trek Online. So I went in to go look at, like the size and everything like that. And, sometimes it gives you like suggested titles. And then I had forgotten that Star Trek Resurgence came out. Now Resurgence is made by that Telltale Games. They made The Wolf Among Us, the Walking Dead series, Batman Arkham Stories.
Love them.
They made a Star Trek game. And Jonathan Frakes voices the voice of Riker in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right. So I go into the Microsoft store. We can see you doing that, Colin, right?
I know. I have like an itch right here, and it's like.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't like, cleaning out the rain gutters or anything like that.
No, like my upper lips.
We are live, and I can't edit that out.
Yeah, I know. My upper lips. My upper lips itching, and I'm like, I itch it, and then it's like.
Well, when you come down this weekend, I'll hook you up with some beard oil, so that way you can keep.
It helps.
Yeah, it helps. Even if we can't like really see it right now, it helps. It'll help keep the skin on your face moisturized, so that way it doesn't flake out on you and get all itchy. But
probably shave soon.
Huh?
Probably need to shave soon again.
Well, yeah, probably, but shaving's overrated. Anyway, so like I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, man, it's $25 in the Microsoft store. I was like, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this because I have not heard anything negative about that game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's in the trailer or whatever, but some of the people that reviewed that game, they're like, this is the the best Star Trek game in years, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, that's a strong statement, considering Star Trek Online is out there. But then you remember some of like the really cheesy, hokey, but really great Star Trek games that were like PC, PlayStation 2, type titles, like Starship Builder and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to starting it because it's one of those choose your own adventure type, it's like the outcome is dependent upon your choices. And then when you get to the end of that playthrough, it tells you, X amount of people picked this option, X amount of people picked that option, blah, blah, blah.
Like in Detroit Become Human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That game is so long.
Fantastic.
Gosh.
I wasn't a fan of facial hair until I felt a soft one. 2 thumbs up. Yeah. And that's all about, I mean, that's really all about the motivation of the person who wears it.
True.
Conditioning it, oiling it, brushing it out, whether or not they have a straightener so that way they can like make it look presentable, because a straightened out beard looks like half as long as it should because it curls up like crazy.
If they straighten mine, it looks totally different.
Yeah, I mean it actually kind of takes on a bit of an epic kind of a look to it. Like Colin, I'll tell you, like whenever like my beard when it was down to here, dude, that sucker was straight all the time.
It's the last time I got trimmed, the girl that I go to, the barber, she straightened all of it out, and ever since then, it's been under control. Like,
I'll find the Amazon link. I'll find the Amazon link for the beard straightener that I've got.
There you go. I've been wanting to get one and because it really helped tame everything.
Oh, let me see here. No, not Con.
Anyways,
but yeah,
the reason I brought up Pal World is, dude, it's Pokemon with guns and slave labor. You capture the pals and you put them to work in your.
Have you captured a human yet?
I haven't, but I know you can, and you can go and sell them too.
I didn't know. I didn't know you could sell them.
Yeah.
Only to slave labor.
I saw a guy on TikTok that captured a human, and he was gonna let it go just because he's like, "This is hilarious." And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna keep him." So he went to a merchant, and he got like 500 something gold for a human. He's like, "Hell yeah!" So yeah, you can sell humans.
There's that one. I just sent you a link for that one, and then
I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunters recently.
A lot of what?
Monster Hunters.
Oh, Monster Hunters, yeah.
I haven't tried.
They're coming out the new one, and so I'm like, I gotta finish Rise's DLC. This game is stupid.
And the link that I'm about to send you, Chris, is for the one that I've actually got. So it's the heated beard straightening comb. It's the Pro.
Yeah,
dude, you can adjust the temperature on it, and you can go all the way from like 150 up to 450 degrees. Yeah, and they're ceramic bristles.
Okay,
yeah, and so when you heat it up, it's best to go from the underside first, so that way you can get that undergrowth.
It's only $33.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
And if you order it now, it'll be there in time for Valentine's Day.
That's true.
Hazbin Hotel Season 2 was supposed to come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved it to next year. That I always take a few minutes out of my day to watch at least one episode of Hazbin Hotel.
Right.
Like, it is my favorite show on Prime now. Like, over Invincible and The Boys.
Right. Yeah. That's Maria pointed out. She's like, so can I point out, y'all, all three white dudes talking about slavery. Like, slavery is alive on the internet. You know,
they're Pokemon, first of all. Let's make that perfectly clear.
They're not Pokemon.
But that you can capture and sell humans in this game.
They're pals.
Okay. Listen, what the merchant does with them after I sell them, it's up to him.
Hey, yeah, exactly. I mean, at that point, and it's not that you're buying and selling, fleshy goods. You are nothing more than a purveyor of transportation.
This is true, because all I'm doing is selling a ball. What's inside that ball is between the merchant and his,
No, trafficking would be, hey, I'm advertising these. There's a file you can download, or there's a black book involved. No.
It's like those plastic things you get out of the vending machine. You put the 50 cents
right,
in.
because when at the time of sale, they are nothing more than just a code.
That's what I'm saying. All you're doing is buying a what do they call them? Pal spheres or whatever the fuck. It's a Pokeball. Buying a Pokeball from me.
Yep.
It's I'm not even pretending. It's
almost like you're a fertility specialist, because at that point you're selling frozen embryos.
Yeah, exactly.
On the open market. That's what you're doing.
Exactly. So I'm not selling a human. I'm selling a ball that may or may not contain some.
Dude, there was a
the limited edition triplet set.
They may be in there. Who knows?
Go ahead, Colin. I'm sorry. We're talking over you.
Dude, there was a Silent Hill game that got shadow dropped recently.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it was so good. Like, one of the things I like about Silent Hill, because I've been like watching gameplay on past Silent Hills, and I've been wanting to try them out, but I can't find any of them anywhere. They go into like the stuff other horror games in them won't go into. Oh my god, it was so good.
So I was playing Goat Simulator 3 today just because I was bored.
Say why? Why?
At the top of the mountain, there's like a glacier there, right? And so in order to melt this glacier, you have to go to the tallest building in downtown, and then you have to headbutt basically like the Daily Planet globe, right? And you headbutt it enough, it gets to the top of the pole that it's set on, and the sunlight reflects off of it, and it's like a death ray, and it melts this glacier, right? Well, there's a UFO that was hidden under the ice, and so it unlocks a hidden item. So you go back over to where the UFO is, and it unlocks a hat called the Brainiac, right? And so when you get near a human or another animal, you hit the right bumper button, and it enlarges their head, right? Like, you know, like the big head cheat on GoldenEye back in the day. Multiply that by like 10, right? And then you throw in the ragdoll physics that Goat Simulator has, and it's hilarious, right? But I'm sitting there like I blew up the head of like, I don't know, half a dozen humans before I got off the mountaintop, just because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then you headbutt them, and you see them kind of like, the head is obviously the computer, like the code is trying to think, is this head actually heavier or is it just? And so you see them kind of like glitch their way down the side of the mountain. And then I take the cap off and I go back into the city because I'm looking for like these like other little, I'm looking for a lot of the trinkets, right, that you can collect around the map. And like the city is just randomly populating. No, you're not a brown guy in this. Goat Simulator is you're actually a goat. And you're going around creating chaos, like headbutting people.
Yeah.
You know, creating, you know, causing damage, things like that.
Yeah, you know, just like a regular goat does.
It's a mindless game, and it's really got some satanic undertones on it. You know, but
I mean,
like,
you're not wrong.
You know, like you got the synchronization towers, and when you synchronize, like in Assassin's Creed, there's so many like references to so many different games. It's hilarious, right? But when you go into the tower, it transports you to the goat's castle, right? And when you walk in, you've got these like minion goats or whatever. They sit there and they bow as you walk past them. And I'm like, yeah,
that's some cult shit right there.
Like,
definitely some cult shit going on.
Yeah, you know, so like, okay, all right, but I mean, the game is fun, right? I mean, there's even a Fallout 3 reference in there where, is it Fallout 3 or Fallout 4? I can't remember. No, I think it's Fallout 4. Where you've got that nuclear bomb that didn't detonate, that's just kind of chilling in the middle of a
That's
three. Okay. Like, you know, you go up into this water tower and you headbutt these scientists and get, you know, launch them out the window, and then you change the coordinates, like they're the latitude and longitude, and it's like 80 and 80, right? Then you hit the green button and it launches a nuke. And it lands in the suburban area of the map.
Yes.
And you go over to the bomb and you headbutt it and it detonates.
Yes.
Dude, it's
worth it.
Because like in Fallout 3, when you like, because it gives you the option to set it off, and it's like,
yeah, that's right, because you have the option of setting it off on a timer or setting it off on remote. That's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
It's like, should I kill all these people?
Right. It just depends on what level of, you know, which direction of karma that you wanted to play through on that time to get on that playthrough.
Fuck them kids. In the words of Maria, fuck them kids.
Yeah, them kids. Yeah.
Have either of y'all played Subnautica before?
Played who?
I tried playing some of that Subnautica.
It's not bad. I played a little bit of it.
I mean, I know that Colin, I know that you love that game. I couldn't get into it, man.
So okay, to me is
wait a minute. Cool. You figured out Subnautica, but you couldn't figure out Pal World? Yeah. Subnautica has nothing. Nothing. There is no tutorial. You are just thrown in the middle of the ocean and good luck to you. Pal World literally has a mission list. It gives you a tutorial of step-by-step things to do.
Oh, you want a game that's worse than Subnautica? It's that I think what is it? It's called Deep.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, Stranded Deep or something like that.
Green Hell is another one. The Forest.
So stupid. It is hard. It gives you a tutorial like for the most basic crap, and it's just like, okay, in your hands now.
Yeah, I mean, you go through the tutorial and you get a basic like shelter built and everything like that, and you think you're making some pretty good headway, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh wait, there's some wreckage just enough in the deep water, just far enough out into the deep water where you got to take like a raft out there, right, before you jump in the water. And you're searching through like the crates and everything like that before you drown, and then boom, you get hit with like you get poisoned by a sea urchin, and all of a sudden, the things that you need that you knew were going to be an antidote or that could help fight the infection are suddenly very hard to find.
But yeah, back to Subnautica, we finally got information on Subnautica 3.
Oh, Raft. That's the name of it, right? Yeah.
No, Raft is
is the same game. Yeah.
No, Raft is a different game. It has a story, and it gives you a pretty good tutorial on what to do.
Yeah.
Stranded Deep and I think Green Hell is one of the absolute hardest.
Dude, okay.
It is merciless.
Dude, I play Green Hill on VR. That game is, it's.
Yeah.
You know what game that I pleasantly enjoyed? Is Unraveled 2.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, dude, I picked it up. I found it was like a $20 title for the Switch. And I just picked it up because I was like, this looks like it's okay. But Unraveled 2, oh my God, dude, it's so much fun because it's frustrating, but like in a good kind of a way.
Yeah.
And you've got two different, like they're basically like yarn dolls, right? And you're having to make your way through different maps, and you've got to like time your the swing physics on it. It's really amazing,
dude. Yeah. The Forest, such a good game.
Did you play Sons of the Forest?
No, dude. The Forest has some of the smartest AI ever.
Yes,
just the cannibals.
Once you get down into the caves.
Yeah, the cannibals, dude. They will like watch you from afar and learn what you. And they will hunt you, and and if you piss them off, you are screwed.
They are terrifying.
Meanwhile, if I get incredibly bored and I want to play a game that does not require internet connection at all, I just grab my Switch and Bass Pro Shop Strike. Oh yeah, I'll fish all day.
It's fun actually that I've been playing the new NHL that's on the Game Pass there. I've been enjoying the shit out of it. I don't know really what I'm doing because I've watched hockey, but
the NHL series is basically like MLB The Show.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm horrible at it, but it's fun as hell.
Yeah,
the sports games are fun for a while for me, but then it's like
the games that the sports games that I absolutely just cannot play are the NBA 2K games.
Oh God, no.
Oh, dude, I'm just like I don't even bother.
Okay, but like
I'm just not a basketball dude.
I've played that like I've played them before with like a friend before, and it's so funny because I just press random buttons
Just
And-
He's over there God of Warring the controller.
You do the Mortal Kombat defense.
And I'm over here like winning somehow, and I'm like, what?
Number 3. I don't even know what
You're the kind of person that makes me not like playing Madden. I mean, I can sit there and watch people play Madden,
again. No.
but I can't play Madden for shit. You know, I mean,
It's awful.
I can read the coverages. I can read the defensive packages. I could even, call a good defensive game.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is getting your fingers to translate between your brain and the controller is impossible.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the application, I mean, my fingers are very agile and adept.
Right.
But when I'm trying to play Madden, it's like I'm a blind virgin, or Helen Keller trying to go lesbian for the first time. She's like,
Oh my god. You did that.
I did. I went there.
Helen Keller trying to go lesbian.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
What, Colin?
remember, so Helen Keller, she flew a plane.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Colin sits there and he's spitting out these like random facts. He go like, Helen Keller flew a plane. I'm like, yeah, right. He's telling me this as we're driving back from Wichita Falls, and I'm like, yeah, right. Whatever, dude.
Oh yeah, it was back.
And he goes, no, here, and he pulls it up and he shows it to me, and I'm like, huh. So she was on a transatlantic flight.
Yeah.
And it was like for 20 minutes they were in the air, and they call her up to the cockpit and they were like, hey, take the controls, and like,
Okay,
just don't move this, just don't move the yoke, so I mean, she's
but like, what is she gonna hit up there?
And a
It's not
cloud.
like she's gonna run into a light pole or something. I mean, come on.
iceberg. I don't know.
Cloud.
Like, explain that one to your insurance company. Like,
Right.
you didn't see that thing coming at you?
Open up that claim, like, I don't know if we can take liability on this one.
A cloud weighs.
I don't think your coverage is gonna extend to this.
What's up, Colin?
A cloud weighs 1.4 billion pounds.
Yes. I'm like, how?
Dense though, because of the water.
I mean, are we talking about like, are we talking about volume? Because I have learned in my physics class that weight is not a force.
No.
It is your mass and the gravity's effect or gravity's pull on that mass.
Exactly. But
So
think
sit
about
there and tell me,
seriously.
you
Think
know,
about how large an actual rain cloud.
when he told me that fact about the clouds, I was like, what Wikipedia page are you looking at?
But think about it. A large rain cloud. Like, how big is a rain cloud?
A cumulonimbus, like, usually weighs 1.4 billion.
Yeah, they stretch
A
it. all the-
standard.
There is a definitive way that we could figure out how much a nimbus cloud weighs. We just need to go ask Goku.
Yes.
That's the crap. What? No, it's called Nimbus.
Jay, she's like, what is going on here anymore?
What makes you think we have it yet?
Bro, this turned into a nerd sports episode to
We
forget.
don't know.
how-
Jay, I don't know if you've noticed this or picked up on this at all, but
We're not in control. We don't control this shit.
we are not what you would call professionals. You know what I mean? I mean,
We're good at pretending.
we're mostly peaceful, and we are
Occasionally,
we're,
adults.
we're professional amateurs. Yeah. Not like the professional amateurs that have like hub channels and stuff like that, but
Wait, hold on.
Professionals get paid.
When Helen Keller was flying the plane, how did she know? Like, they were like, "Here, take the control," like, because she couldn't hear them say that.
Do you want to tell them?
Well, I know the whole like freaking palm thing that or whatever they do.
Her palm.
Who are the braille buttons on an ATM for?
Freaking
That's actually a great idea.
the thing they do where it's like they like write in the hand.
It's the braille on a drive-through ATM are the ones that worry me.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like the Baltimore Orioles a couple of years ago, they celebrated their deaf and blind community by wearing braille uniforms.
But you're not allowed on the field.
Right. Like the logo had braille on it.
That is,
But I'm like,
virtue signaling at its greatest.
I mean, this is coming from the same city that, whenever they had the Freddie Gray riots,
Yeah.
they shut down that district of the city where Camden Yards is at, and told MLB said, got together with the mayor's office and was like, hey, we're just going to close the gates on the ballpark for that one day, but there's still going to be a game.
Because
I wrote a beautiful article about it the year that it happened, and I'll have to dig the file out and I'll send it to you. But
player safety, what is that?
Yeah, and what was funny is that the riots never got anywhere near the ballpark. Like we feel we feel wronged, we feel discriminated against. I've got a great idea. Let's burn down our own city. Let's burn down our neighborhood. I'm just gonna stop there on that one because
it looks like me. He owns a small business. Let's burn it down. It's like I wasn't involved in that. Yeah, let's steal all the shit.
I'm going to stop playing Madden long enough to go steal some toilet paper and paper towels.
But no work boots.
Look, we're going to get canceled, man. Somebody out there is going to be like,
already.
They're going to splice that one bite. It's going to be. We're going to start seeing we're going to start seeing TikToks dedicated to finding out who you are, and they're going to be like,
he's going to be going through this fucking episode.
We haven't gotten
what are you guys doing?
Dude, we're gonna send some liberal off into a coronary. They're gonna have to comb through hours of podcast episodes, and I mean they're gonna be like,
why did that podcast get sued for wrongful death? Well,
we're gonna get a cease and desist letter from some state's lawyer, or
Exhibit A.
So and so was found dead today. It's going to be like some high profile lib, some actor that's just so entitled that is like, my SAG card says
that'll be the third one,
right?
That's awesome. I'm glad that we can be
we can contribute to the cycle to the circle of life.
Yes, we're contributing to the zeitgeist.
Just reach out and be like, Simba.
It is time. Oh man.
I mean, I'm just happy that I have somebody that looks at me the same way that Nala looked at Simba.
That is true.
I mean, growing up as a kid, you see the way that Nala looked at Simba that first scene, and you're like, oh, they're in love. And then as an adult, you go back and you watch it with your kids, and you're like, oh, I know what that look is.
Well,
Jade, when we're talking about fire, contextually, we're talking about riots. It's just a demonstration. No, it's criminal activity. It's called arson.
Exactly. Vandalism and arson.
Yeah. But yeah. So
fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I need TV for my bunghole. Yeah.
On fire. And the great cornhole. Boobs.
We're looking for the chick with a big boobs.
Right. She said would. My liver. Lower, dude. Yeah, my liver.
Oh my God.
I really, Mike Judge is supposed to be working on the not necessarily, it's not a reboot, but it's and Colin dropped out. I wonder why. I wonder if he's coming back in.
I don't know. We should be fixing to land this here pretty soon.
Yeah. Shoot him a text and find out what happened. Oh, there he is. Wait for it. And heading to the stage just in time for us to land this plane.
Yeah, well, sorry, Gabe called and it effed with the camera, so then it was like,
Jake, do me a favor. Is your brother within earshot? Respond in the comments, please.
Gonna get a dressing down live on air.
No, I'm not going to dress him down. I'm not going to do that to him. No. Are you on a laptop? Can you go to where he's at, or are you on a desktop, or even better, call him into the room? I'm going to be the salty uncle, but I'm not going to be so salty that I get a call from my sister going, "What the F?"
How dare you?
You are broadcasting that live and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's all good. Okay.
okay, now I can hear you.
Yay!
Woot.
Whoop. Come on. I love the delay. I really do. No, don't mean. I'm not gonna be mean.
She called it right away. Don't be
Jesus Christ.
It's almost like they've met you before.
Right? I mean, I was only there when when both of them came popping into this world,
Did you get text? Wait, you text Megan or something?
No.
Oh,
your cousin's sitting there going, "Don't be mean to my brother."
Oh.
Like, here, open the door. Open the door.
He's fine.
Open the door.
Playing on his Switch or whatever.
Like, you see that TikTok? Have you seen is that a mockingbird? I've been doing that all weekend.
Dude, all right. So like,
would open his mouth.
I'm sitting there and I'm not sitting there. I'm trying to sleep. It's like 3:00 in the flipping morning. And my phone is blowing up. Right? And I'm like, oh, don't see, I'm not, we can see the chat, but I'm not, oh my God, just bring him in here. Anyway, my phone's blowing up and I'm like, nobody I know sends me anything at 3:00 in the morning unless somebody's dying.
Only one person.
So I crack my eye open and I look over and I touch the screen on my phone and it lights up and it's Angry Me has sent you a TikTok. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill David. Like, oh my God. Like I have to leave. I don't like turning my ringer off at night in case my, like family needs to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Something's happening with the boys and I got to like make an emergency trip to Wichita Falls to get them or something happens to one of my parents, one other thing,
Oh, I muted the TikTok notifications a long time ago. So it doesn't actually notify. It buzzes, but it doesn't actually ring when it goes off.
Dude, my alarm scares the crap out of me in the mornings.
So you know the group text that you, me, and David have together, Chris?
Uh-huh.
Right. He put that GIF out there, and I was like, "Hey, psst, your colostomy bag is leaking."
Yeah, I just saw what he answered with.
Yeah, just now. Oh, he has cancer. Like,
is that what that's supposed to be? It literally just says O has cancer. Is he talking about Sandra O? Is he talking about
his O face?
His O ring?
Right.
I don't know. Of course, that would be. I mean,
because if you look at the GIF, right? I mean, the jet is literally coming out maybe 4 inches above the knee.
Right.
And and the angle is nowhere near where it needs to be considered anal.
It's like if you have grandpa balls that are hanging down and it's shooting out the bottom of the balls, but pointed upward. That's the only way that would actually work.
Right.
I don't know. We're still trying to figure out who has cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, are they initials? Who has the initials OH? O. Henry? Is the O. Henry bar giving him cancer? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not supposed to be a suppository, so.
Yeah, but with David, like everything is a suppository.
Good news, everybody.
Well, in that case, good news. Oh man, he's gonna hate us.
You know what, Jade? Send your brother a text. Send him a link to the show, so that way he can watch and he'll know when we're done. There.
Better yet.
I'm not bringing him on.
He said, "Oh,
I'm not bringing him on the show."
Well,
we're not. No, listen. His dad is in the army, okay, but his dad. I love my brother-in-law to death, but he is a pogue.
Oh no.
Okay.
Of course, we let David on here, and he's a pogue.
Right, but he's a sky janitor, so they really don't have a. I mean, their grunts are like high speed, right?
That's true.
You know, so David gets a pass because he wears the same uniform as we do, so it's all good. But I'm not doing that to my nephew. Not going to expose him to the verbal scouring that would ensue. And besides that, this is not this isn't a kid's show, man. And the only reason you're part of the show is because you're part of my genetic code and you have the same jacked up, yes, debauchery. You have the same jacked up sense of humor that I do. Okay. And you come by it honestly. You inherited it from me.
I always have a segment, so yeah.
Yeah, you have an entire segment. So there's that. So, I mean, I don't.
You're not just on willy-nilly.
It's like college football expanding the playoff field so that way people like Florida State don't get their feelings hurt. I'm not going to water it down.
I was thinking the other day so about the merch thing, and remember how we were talking about how we have to have a Scissor Me Timbers merch thing?
Sure.
Dude, on the shirt, it has to have all of us with an eye patch. Like, that would. And like one giant speech bubble.
Like, pair of peg legs. Go like this.
But we gotta be drawn in like caricature.
Yes, yeah.
Caricature with eye patches.
Chat GTP, you know, we can get that done.
Right? We can do that. Hell yeah.
All right. So my niece is asking, so what does that make me? That makes you my niece. That does not make you a direct descendant of my genetic line. So, you know,
It's not direct blood.
I think maybe the angle she's going for is because of the fact that I called her dad a pogue. That doesn't necessarily make you anything. It just means that your dad is a pogue. I mean, I love your dad to death. I mean, I'd go to bat for him 100 times out of 100. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I reserve the right to give him grief for being a person other than a grunt.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. Anyways, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have eclipsed the 2-hour mark. We are at 2 hours and 8 minutes.
I don't think we've ever had an episode by ourselves go under 2 hours.
Yeah, we have actually. We had one that was like an hour and 47 minutes.
We did do one.
And that was the episode after I, ditched the idea of having an itinerary because the itinerary didn't work.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was
this week is Valentine's Day, so if you have a loved one, make sure that they're acknowledged at least. If you don't have a loved one, find somebody to love, or at the risk of really grossing out my the younger generation of my family that's in attendance.
Just find one that'll love you for a little while.
Or find somebody that's willing to take a good smattering of love on their face. It's all I'm saying.
Either way, you're spreading your love.
And then my niece comes in with the whole, he is my only loved ones. I know. Do your mom a huge favor and get her a card or something, for the love of God. I have to celebrate Valentine's Day the day after because I have 2 exams on Valentine's Day.
Rough.
One's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the other one starts at 5:30. And I'm like, ugh. So on the 15th is when I will be celebrating Valentine's Day.
This weekend. This weekend's a 3-day weekend.
Is it? That is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yeah, so we would drive on.
I pick you up on Friday like normal.
Yes, and then
we don't meet your mom until
Monday
evening. Okay. Half off everything. I mean, that's the way Michael Jackson liked it.
What?
That was
half off.
Jewish people like it.
Okay. Well, we're not going to Southern goodbye the crap out of this thing tonight. So we appreciate you guys, ladies, gentlemen, Angry Faith of all ages. We appreciate the time and dedication that you've given us over the last 2 hours and what's coming up on 2 hours and 12 minutes. We hope that we've at least somewhat entertained you, somewhat educated you, almost educationalized you, education.
Hooked on Phonics works for me.
Where there's a will, there's an A. There's times like this when I'm forced to reflect as to how gifted and blessed we are. And by we, I mean you, and by being blessed, that is by having us in your presence. So we thank you again. With that being said,
yay verily.
Yay verily.
Over the line!
Oh, yes. We're going to end this show at 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
So there we go. Yeah. There was a recurring theme. Absolutely. Tootly. I should have ended it on 2 hours and 11 minutes. So that way it would have been 13 total.
Perfect.
Did we do my outro? I don't remember.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am Johnny Skelton.
I am Chris Jacka.
Colin Skeleton.
And you have been privy to yet another assault on your senses. We pray that your earlobes retract and that the eardrums are not prolapsed. Scissor me timbers. Arr.
End it already.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, end it. I'm trying to hit the button.
It takes like